Hey everyone, I'm Stephanie, host and head bookologist here at the Get Literate podcast. I'm a book-loving, notebook-hoarding reader and writer on a mission to change lives one book and one notebook at a time. On this podcast, we explore the power of bookology and leading literate lives. We talk all things books and reading and notebooks and writing, mixed in with mindful practices and creativity to create lives we love. You can expect regular weekly episodes focused on 3 books you need to know about on a bookish theme and how to bring those themes to life in our actual lives too. You can also expect author interviews, notebooking inspiration, and topics to help us grow through what we go through and take inspired action to make our lives better. So grab a notebook and your TBR list and let's get literate. In upstate New York, the weather is cooler. It's sweater weather. Out come the fuzzy socks. There are colorful leaves for miles and miles. There are pumpkin patches and apple picking, and all the pumpkin and apple flavors are in full season, along with maple and salted caramel. Oh, all the things. Not to mention the beautiful mums that are on everyone's porch. It's so pretty, and it is the perfect setup for cozy reading. For me, cozy reading is sitting in a comfy spot with a nice blanket, maybe some socks that are nice and cozy too, and a cup of steaming hot coffee. That is the ultimate cozy reading for me. In fact, cozy is my one word of the month for October. It is my intent to do everything in a more cozy manner, whether that's work, whether that's in my home, or that's my reading or my writing. I want to lean into this beautiful fall season, and I really want to enjoy it. You know that every month I create a bibliotherapy book calendar for my Patreon members. That's a calendar where I offer one book recommendation every day of the month that embodies our theme. In doing the research for this month's theme, I actually discovered that the word cozy isn't just a word to be defined, it's actually a subgenre. Yeah, it's a subgenre. Think about it. Cozy mysteries, cozy romances, cozy fantasies. So any book that is considered a cozy usually is a lighter version of that particular genre. There are a smaller cast of characters. The setting is usually set in a small town, and the book generally is optimistic and has some sort of happy ending. I mean, how much cozier can you get in your reading life with that kind of subgenre description? So there's one thing I noticed about those cozy books in my research, and that was that they often involved food. Actually, they almost always involved food, and usually really good tasting, home cooked, particularly sweet food with fall flavors. Flavors like apple, pumpkin, maple, salted caramel, right? All of those yummy autumn flavors were found in the books too. And so that's what I'm here to share with you today. I am going to share 3 cozy books full of fall flavors. So book 1 is a cozy romance. I would say a cozy book that turns into a cozy romance. And this book is called Pumpkin Everything by Beth Labonte. Now, if you know the title is called Pumpkin Everything, you know it is truly going to embrace this theme. And this book was everything I thought it would be. It was such a cozy book filled with all things pumpkin spice, family, romance, and making amends and finding your way forward. So Kate is someone that was headed home after many, many years away so that she could care for her grandfather, who happened to run his vehicle into a Dunkin' Donuts, by the way. So she went back home to care for her grandfather after his little accident and to give herself a chance to get back on her own 2 feet after a really difficult breakup and a stalled writing career. So, by the way, Kate is this best-selling horror novelist, and she lost her muse after she lost her breakup. So she's going back home, and her hometown, Autumnsboro, New Hampshire, is this beautiful, sweet, small town that is filled with autumn cheer. So much pumpkin spice everywhere. And Kit, who just so happens to be her childhood boyfriend and the reason she left her hometown in the first place. But coming back home, even though it is full of torn emotions, it might be exactly what Kate needs to find peace. More importantly, to make amends and to move forward. I loved this book. It had relatable characters. There were so many laugh out loud moments, and especially the book was filled with this wonderful small town charm. It will warm you from head to toe. And if you are in that cozy kind of vibe, and if you love pumpkin spice as much as I do, then this book is exactly the kind of book you're just going to want to snuggle into the couch with a blanket, maybe your own cup of pumpkin spice coffee or a pumpkin spice latte, and just enjoy, truly enjoy a cozy mystery and that takes you away for your own life for a couple of hours and puts you square into a Hallmark movie. Because yes, Pumpkin Everything was actually turned into a Hallmark movie as well. So once you're done reading the book, you can go take a couple of hours and enjoy the movie version of it too. So Pumpkin Everything is basically a cozy Hallmark movie in a book, and that's why it was the first selection for my collection of books today. That's Pumpkin Everything by Beth Labonte. Now up next, I have a cozy mystery. Now, I typically do not read mysteries at all, and I typically don't read cozy mysteries at all. They're just not my go-to genre. But knowing that this cozy genre has such an appeal to me right now, I knew I wanted to give a cozy mystery a try. So I turned to this book, Apple Turnover Murder by Joanne Fluke. I told you all of these cozy books are tied up into so many wonderful fall flavors. And for a short while I was reading this book, I was able to live in a world where enormous doses of coffee and cookies can solve everything. And I loved it. This cozy mystery was exactly what I needed at this moment in time. So Hannah is the co-owner of the Cookie Jar. Yes, this wonderful cookie shop with so many flavors of cookies. And she is juggling 2 different men who are vying for her attention too. But even though she is all that busy with both of those things, she still has enough time to bake thousands of apple turnovers and hundreds of cookies for the town's fundraiser. But when the murder of a former flame, a secret former flame, I might add, takes everyone by surprise, Hannah's on the case. Of course, with cookies in hand to solve the mystery and soothe those around her. I have never met a cast of characters who all devour cookie and coffees with abandon as I did in this book. And so if you need a light read that's full of coffee, sweet treats, and this is the best part, the recipes for every mouth-watering cookie and dessert mentioned, then this is the book for you. I have added chocolate sugar cookies, zucchini cookies, and even cottage cheese cookies to my dessert roundup for this holiday season. But there were many, many more that are sure to appeal to everyone so that you will find the recipe you need as you're reading. And the best part, I really truly enjoyed this book. It was definitely a cozy mystery that was purely for enjoyment. While it's not a Hallmark movie, it really did remind me of one. But the best part was that I realized Joanne Fluke actually has 28 other cozy mysteries in her series. 28. So there is a long backlist that I can enjoy when I am in the mood for some very cozy reading. Now, like I said, there was a murder in this book, but in a cozy murder, the murder is not the focus. We don't get the details. We get the before and we get the after. And that's what makes the book so cozy. Not to mention the crazy amount of recipes and the focus on apple turnovers as a tasty theme. So that's Apple Turnover Murder by Joanne Fluke. Now, last but not least, dare I say this was my favorite. This is Kissing Kosher by Jean Meltzer. So I love when I read a book for one reason, and then I realize that I was supposed to find it for another. So I purposely picked up this book because I knew it was a cozy read and because I knew it was going to have the flavors of fall in it. And that was the kind of vibe I wanted for myself right now. Pumpkin spice babka in here was calling my name. But I realized that I was supposed to pick it up for a completely different reason inside. So let me explain. First, let me say that this was a delightful book that was full of family, delicious sounding baked goods, of course, a little bit of romance, and so many life lessons. So, Avatal is a 20-something-year-old who has returned home to care for her family's kosher bakery. Now, the beautiful thing about Meltzer's writing is that you can truly imagine what this busy family bakery is like. And if you've ever entered one in New York City or in Boston, those are the first two that come to my mind. You're just transported to that setting. So she's there caring for her family's very busy kosher bakery, but she's also in some need of some care herself. So her life has completely been upturned due to chronic pain and a condition that she is struggling with. And she's having a really hard time. She is trying to keep up with all the demands of work and life, but when she's in so much pain every day, she's struggling. She's struggling to see a hopeful future, and she's not sure what to do until Ethan walks in the door. But unbeknownst to Avatal, Ethan is the handsome grandson of her family's arch enemy, working undercover in the bakery to steal her world-famous pumpkin spice babka recipe. So you can put some of the puzzle pieces together of what you think might happen next, knowing this is a cozy romance with a happy ending. But I really did pick this up because I wanted to just be transported for a little bit into a cozy read at this time of the year. And that's why I picked it up. But again, I kept turning the pages and reading compulsively because of the kinship I felt with Avatar. As someone who also struggles with chronic pain, I felt seen in this book. I could so completely relate to some, not all, but some of what this character was going through. And even though I know she was a fictional character, the steps that I saw her take to reclaim her joy, her words, and find her way forward with chronic pain as part of her identity, those were lessons that I needed to learn. And I'm sure there are readers listening to this where there are lessons that they might need to learn that too. But I do need to mention that I did get a couple of healthy doses of information in relation to medical marijuana, of all things. Who knew that that was as big of an endeavor as it was, that there's so much science that is going into that? Certainly not something I thought of. So that was a light bulb moment as a central thread in this book. And then I also got a lesson in intimacy from a pretty cool rabbi, too. Both things that were unexpected and both just made Kissing Kosher another one of the books that I needed right now. Well, there you have it. 3 cozy books full of delicious fall flavors to get you in a cozy state of mind. Now, I'd like you to try one thing. If you remember back an episode or two ago, I spoke with Becca Ray Eagle and we talked about her one word journaling project. Are you ready for what I'm going to ask you to do? I bet you know. I would love for you to open up the next blank, fresh page in your notebook. I'd like you to pick out a colorful gel pen or marker or Sharpie or whatever your favorite writing utensil is that might represent a cozy writing feeling for you. And I want you to write the word cozy at the top. And then I want you to write. I want you to write in whatever form works for you. Maybe you spend 5 minutes and you write longhand about what coziness means to you. Or maybe you write a list of the places and the people and the scents and the sights and the tastes that mean cozy to you. Or maybe you grab some pictures or stickers or photographs and you compile them together and you create a scene of what cozy means to you. Regardless of what method you choose, I'd love for you to give that one word journaling technique a try. Just set a timer for 5 minutes and let yourself think of all things cozy. When you do, when you go into that place in your brain where things are cozy and comfortable and you imagine them and you visualize them, your brain actually releases particular chemicals that make you feel relaxed, that make you feel less stressed. And then when you're done and you're feeling great, I'd love for you to look at your list or your writing or your collage and choose one thing that you can do today to make the day cozier. That could be something simple like putting on a comfy pair of slippers when you get home from work. It could be allowing yourself that extra cup of tea or a decaf cup of coffee when you're relaxing later on. Or it may just be getting out your favorite blanket, snuggling up on the couch, and doing absolutely nothing at all. Those are the kinds of cozy vibes I would love for you to cultivate for yourself, starting with your notebook. Hopefully, the books I gave you will give you some inspiration, and then you can keep the coziness going for as long as you want. Keep coming back to that page, pick something new every day, and see how it can change the way you feel. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. I will see you inside the next episode. So for now, happy cozy reading and happy cozy writing. Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Get Literate podcast. You'll find links to all the books, resources, and ideas mentioned in the show notes and at alitlife.com. Plus, if you want more, you might like to join my Patreon community. There, you'll find additional inspiration for your reading and writing life, like bonus podcast episodes, bibliotherapy book calendars, monthly book clubs, notebooking challenges, live events, giveaways, and much, much more. It's only $5 a month, and you get instant access to all of the previous content too. You can learn more at getliterate.co. And one more thing. If you love what you listened to today, please take a moment to rate and review the podcast or take a screenshot of the episode and text it to a friend. This helps the podcast grow and builds our bookish and notebookish community too. Thanks for listening.